Alright, let's start this episode with Yoshi's Victory Celebration single, because we have not seen that yet. And now that I have played with Yoshi, we can show this off finally. This is Yoshi's victory cutscene. Trophy. And like Yoshi always does, he has to turn everything into an egg. Poor guy. Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome back to Mario Tennis. We are almost done with this game. When it comes to clearing this game, getting the 100% done you might say, there's only one more thing we need to do. Even though it's technically two, because the final tournament has singles and doubles of course. But that is going to be something for next weekend. Today we have something different on the agenda. Allow me to show you off what you need to do in order to actually achieve this. In tournament mode you can actually play singles or doubles tournament with specific characters in order to unlock courts in this game. The first one's actually pretty easy, just beating the Mushroom Cup with Mario. You also receive a court for beating the Mushroom Cup with Yoshi. Beating the singles Mushroom Cup with DK will also unlock you a court. And those are the easy ones. There's also a couple of courts that unlock whenever clearing doubles. These ones can be a little bit trickier because we have a court that unlocks whenever beating the Star Cup on doubles with Wario. The same applies to Birdo. Beating the Star Cup with Birdo will also unlock a court. And for the final one that you can actually regularly unlock in this game, we need to beat the Star Cup with Mario on doubles. There are a lot more courts you can officially unlock, however those actually require a link to the Game Boy Color version of Mario Tennis. There's a couple of things you can do there. And if you then link the Nintendo 64 version, you will unlock a couple of other courts, but none of them are actually unique. They're just variants of other courts that you can unlock directly in the Nintendo 64 version. However, talking about them is fun and everything, we also need to show them off. And I've decided to do it as follows. I'm going to play Exhibition against random characters, doesn't really matter which one. And while playing through these courts, I will actually start increasing the difficulty up to Intense at some point. However, I'm going to start off on Normal. And I'll be playing as Daisy myself, because she's appointed the Exhibition coverer. But as you can see, after clearing all of these cups that I've shown off to do, you will start unlocking special courts that are unique to the Mario Tennis feel. The first one is the Mario Bros court, which is usually the first one you unlock, because this one simply requires to beat the Mushroom Cup with Mario. Welcome to the special type of stadium. And in order to show off even more how special it is, I'm for the first time going to use the one camera mode we have not seen yet in this game, the dynamic cam. And that is also something I've decided to do today. I will cover these courts with dynamic cam, so you can actually see the background a little bit, even during the rallies. And not just during replays. Giving a more epic atmosphere to these special type of courts that are only accessible in Exhibition mode. Unfortunately, no tournaments are played on these courts. That's the biggest downside. Something that Mario Power Tennis luckily resolves. There's actually a special type of tournament in that game that also makes use of the gimmick courts. Even though gimmicks in the tennis is not quite a thing yet in this game. But because of that, that game actually makes use of the special courts in tournament mode as well. But here, unfortunately not. That does not stop me showing them off. So let's go finish off this match. This match is going to take a very long time if I'm going to let him hit aces every single time. I thought I put you on normal. I was expecting this to happen on Intense and not on normal already. Intense is actually the difficulty the Planet Cup is played on. Next week's tournament. The one that is going to destroy me. As I'm already proving, I'm struggling with normal already. It's also a little bit because of the dynamic cam, because of the perspective of the camera being a little bit different. It's also a little bit more difficult to actually see the ball coming. The fact that I'm using my Mario Power Tennis technique in order to return the serves also does not help. Because like I explained last time, this game is not really suited for that. But it's so stuck in my system that I always just have to step forward the moment a serve comes. But at least it did not stop me from winning this match. This was still on normal, and this was the Mario Bros court.
Here we go.
The second one we're going to show off. I'm going to play on doubles. I'm going to use Luigi as my partner, I think. Let's also keep him on normal. And let's pick Birdo. And my favorite character from Mario Power Tennis, Paratrooper. Let's move on to the second court. The court that unlocks after beating the Mushroom Cup with Yoshi in singles. And I must address there's also a variant of this court, the Yoshi court, which looks exactly the same, with the only difference being that only Yoshi is present as a picture on the court, but the background and everything are the same. That's one of the courts that unlocks after linking with the Game Boy Color version. So, you don't have to worry about missing anything. It is going to be the exact same court. The only difference is, then you will only see Yoshi on the court. Now we have Yoshi and Baby Mario. So, let's go play. Doubles match on normal. Star Cup and Rainbow Cup difficulty, you might say. This is not going to take very long. As you can hear by the music that plays in the background, but also how the background itself looks, with the fruit and everything, it's clearly based on Yoshi's story, which is interesting. Because of the Baby Mario also being present on this court, you would expect it to be based on Yoshi's Island a little bit more, but this is clearly based on Yoshi's story, which is also understandable, of course, because Yoshi's Story was the game that released closest to this game. At that point, Yoshi's Story was the talk of the town, you might say. Also a game I'm looking forward to Let's Playing. One of my favorite games on the N64 for some reason. I definitely always get a good feel whenever playing Yoshi's Story. I'm not saving that one for later for nothing. Don't want to Let's Play that game quite yet. But eventually it will come up, of course. Here we can get a little review of it, you might say.
Match point.
There's one more point. You normal computer players are not good enough for me. Let's crank up the difficulty after this one. This was just to get a little warm up. But at least we have seen the Yoshi and Baby Mario court. A lot of fruit. Not as much as in Yoshi's Story itself, but still, that is for later.
Here we go.
Let's move on to the third match. Now that we still have time. Let's play singles again. Let's play against Donkey Kong. But let's put him on hard now. Ooh, there's a difficulty curve in this episode. Who would have guessed? Court number 3. We're going to play on the Wario and Waluigi court. This one is unlocked by beating the Star Cup on doubles with Wario. And you will unlock the Wario and Waluigi court. Similar to the previous one, this one also has a single variant. In fact, two of them, both Wario and Waluigi, can appear alone here. As you may expect, it is based on Wario's lust for treasure. As you can clearly see already on the background. However, the court itself is not per se one I really like, if I need to be honest. Even though it has a very high bounce, which is pretty obvious when looking at the ball. That's a good thing, but the ball speed is really slow. And therefore it does still feel like a clay court a little bit to me. Even though the bounce is a lot better than a clay court. But it also has the slow speed. Therefore I always feel net play is really required on a court like this. Especially when facing a half-court player like Donkey Kong. But that's how you want to take care of him. Let's do one more game. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I did not quite address that quite yet. You can see the camera still behind me despite the changed court. The dynamic cam is comparable to the player cam. Oh, can't reach. My bad. But anyway, to finish that story, the dynamic cam is comparable to the player cam. It does not just angle the camera for more dynamic view. That's the reason why it's called dynamic camera. But it also always keeps it behind you. Which I think is strange, because it would have been fun to actually have a dynamic cam with you still being the back player. It would be interesting to know how that feels, actually. No. Slow court, and yet they still get an ace against me. Sounds promising for the intense mode coming up in a minute. Oh, now he's becoming a net player. Shows off how I'm losing control in this rally. Hey, but I still got you. One more. No. Mario Power Tennis Y. Okay, this one I do have. Eventually I'll get the smash in. There we go. And this is over. Fun with the court. It does feel really weird, the high bounce and yet the slow speed on this court. So it is pretty interesting playing here. But not per se one of my favorites, so let's scratch this one quite quickly. Allow me to actually go to a much better court next. Because this one has a lot better stats in my opinion. Playing with Waluigi this time. Also going to put him on hard. Toad. And... Boo. Why not? Court number 4 out of 6 is the Donkey Kong court. Beating the Mushroom Cup with him is more than enough to actually unlock this. And look at its stats. Fast ball speed and strongest bounce. Making it feel a lot like a composition court. Something I can really appreciate. This one is a lot more fun to play on. As you may expect, it will have a lot of jungle vibe here. Playing in the jungle. And a massive Donkey Kong on the court. And of course a remix on the background of the opening of the original Donkey Kong. I think you can already imagine why this is one of my favorite courts to play on. Oh, what the hell? Let's forget about that quickly. No. Hard mode is beating me. Come on, Waluigi. Get those smashes. There we go. 40-30. One more. Ah. Dynamic cam plus tricky character means I can't hit the ball anymore. There we still are. I'm already noticing whenever Boo actually plays a ball with his dynamic cam, it's a lot trickier to actually see his trickiness. Need to take into account that his balls actually curve, even though it's harder to see with the dynamic cam. Bam! Ah, not enough. Does not work anymore on hard difficulty. Those angled shots. Angle needs to be really great now. Like this! Thank you! Awesome point. Bam! Let's do another game. Luckily it's Toad surfing. I was smart enough actually to pick the tricky character second. Come on, Waluigi. Where is your reaction time? We're getting suppressed. Here's my chance. Equaling the score. However, if Waluigi is going to keep this up, we're not going to win this game. Oh, I can reach that. Thank you. Still in this game. Bam! And bam! Yeah, I was smart enough not to smash that one. No way that would have stayed in if I actually smashed that one. Let's wait for an opening. They still have the initiative, so... Now let's get in and let's finish this. Feels really nice playing on this court. Fast ball, high bounce, as it should be. Unfortunately the ball bounces low on grass, so the Planet Cup is going to be hell, but still. This court I really enjoy. However, it's not per se my favorite one. There is one that I like even more. And luckily that one is coming up right now. Let's make sure we don't pick a character that is too strong, because I'm going to get destroyed. The difficulty is going to increase to intense. The highest difficulty you can actually pick in Exhibition. But we are going to play on probably my favorite court in this game, the Mario and Luigi court. Not to be confused with the Mario Bros court. This one is something different, also has a different background. And despite the ball speed not being the fastest and the ball bounce also not being too high, as you can see, this court I for some reason still really like playing on. I think it's more because of the background, because of it being an awesome Mario 64 reference here. Even more than the Mario Bros court, which was referencing Rainbow Ride. This one is just directly on the castle grounds. And just look at how this court looks. With the stars and everything, and Mario and Luigi being in an awesome pose. Yeah, for some reason when it comes to the aesthetic, I really love this course. And the fact that the ball might not act in the most optimal way, in my opinion, that is something I can forgive in this court. I just really like playing on this one because of its atmosphere. Now, when we're done talking about Mario 64 dreams, let's go see if we can actually win this match. Intense is definitely intense. This is actually the difficulty we can expect when playing the Planet Cup, so we can get a little preview of that as well, you might say. But so far, this seems to be going fine. Usually my own service games don't give me too much trouble. It's usually when they are serving when things become difficult, especially when I'm at the back of the court. So luckily we're not going to see that today quite yet. Because of the dynamic cam, the camera will stay behind me for now, making it a little bit easier for me. But whenever an intense computer player serves, be ready to hide your women and children. That can be so troublesome in this game. I'm not the biggest star in returning, especially since Mario Power Tennis is a little bit too much in my system. So this could get ugly. Luckily he's also having trouble. He's serving so fast that he tends to make some mistakes sometimes. At the moment I'm able to return, I should be fine. Double fault please. No. That can be so annoying. They do tend to make faults a lot. But double faults you don't really see a whole lot. That they are able to prevent, unfortunately. Ooh, I'm surprised I had that one. The Mario Power Tennis strategy is still working, it seems. Sometimes.
Match point. Match point.
Oh, there we go! I was just talking about double faults being rare on Intense, but rare does not mean that they never happen. Thank you, Mario, for showing that computer players can also be a screw-up sometimes. That went relatively easy. Let's make it even more difficult, because if there's one thing that can make this game even more difficult, and that is making it doubles. Let's pick someone else. Let's pick Wario. We have not seen Peach today, and we have not seen Yoshi. All star characters, of course. We need to show off one more court, the Birdo and Yoshi court. This is the one you unlock by beating Star Cup on doubles with Birdo. The final course that I'm able to show off today, because all of the other ones actually require a link with the Game Boy Color version. Not in my possession. So that is not going to happen. This is another example of a court that is actually modeled after an old one, as you can see. This one looks just like the Baby Mario and Yoshi court, just with a different court background. And that is actually something you can expect from the Game Boy Color exclusive courts as well. There's actually not a single one that actually makes use of a unique background. They all have backgrounds that we've already seen on other courts, just with a different picture in the middle and some different stats. Those are the only difference. So trust me whenever I say you don't really miss a whole lot about those courts. You actually need to link the Game Boy Color version to. I believe there's 5 or 6 of those courts, all of them variants of these courts. Oh. Not too sure why Peach actually returned that ball. She should have just let it go, because it was going to go out pretty far. Let's start applying Planet Cup strategies here already. Because this is basically Planet Cup difficulty, so... I'll talk more about it next week. But this is basically what I always try to do. Bombard the player at the net with smash hits. Because this is usually something they can't cope with, and it usually ends up getting you a point. As you can see. Remember this trick. Whenever playing the hardest difficulty on doubles, that's what you want to do. One more game, and we can call it a day. Luckily, this is a slow court, so I'm not too worried about their serves. It's going to be a different story next week. Oh, dang it. It also has a low bounce, of course. There we go. That is what I want to see. Oh, bad return. Let's apply my doubles strategy again, like this. Always works. Oh, it's so awesome that I can actually put my partner on intense as well. And that is actually not going to be the case in the Planet Cup. There you can actually expect some very bad returns by your partner, making it a lot more difficult to actually win doubles matches. Wario at least knows how to return, so today we're not going to see a whole lot of trouble yet. That is going to change next week. There we go. We've seen all of the special types of courts. Even though we've seen this one twice, basically. The same background. But still, the court itself acts a little bit differently, so you can see how it works a little bit. Even if you have a court that uses the same background, just like the ones in the Game Boy Color do, it does not mean it is exactly the same court. It can have different stats. And that is basically how that works. And in the meantime, we've also seen the dynamic cam, so we can also scratch that off our to-do list. Which only has one thing left. The Planet Cup. The most difficult cup in this game. Both on singles and doubles. The final weekend, next time, when we will finish this game once and for all. Hope you enjoyed. And see you folks for the finale next time. Hope to see you then. Treecks out.